Okay, what are problems with the 7.62 by 39 AR-15 upper? I believe it's an ammunition problem. So today I just got some new ammo, Red Army Standard. This here is the brass case stuff. Alright, and there's a funny thing about this Red Army Standard. This brass cased ammo is made in Bosnia-Herzegovina, okay? And if you get the steel cased ammo, it's made in Ukraine. It says so on the box where it's made. So you can get different types of this ammunition, even though it all comes in the same type of package. I paid like 90 bucks for a 180 round case. Yeah, 180 rounds comes in this carton. And they're 30 round boxes. There's 6 30 round boxes come in here. Just checking this out. Hammer and sickle and all. I mean, it's right there. But this brass case stuff is made in Bosnia. A lot of people do a review of the steel case stuff, and that's made in the Ukraine. I may get some just for testing purposes. Now, I made several videos about this firing pin fiasco with the AR upper in 7.62, and it's a commonplace problem. The firing pin that was in there, if it was a standard one or not, I don't know. But I bought an enhanced pin, and it was 10 thousandths longer when I measured it. The firing pin, and then again, it all depends on the gun and the type of ammo you use. I've had a lot of questions. People have asked me, you know, will this ammo go off in another gun that didn't work? And I got a couple of the rounds here. It's Wolf steel cased ammo, just stuff we always buy, the hollow point version. So I got some brass case ammo. I've never reloaded for the 7.62 by 39 because the ammunition's so cheap. Reloading it's way more expensive. And you know, the guns weren't expensive, the old AKs and the SKSs. The ammunition was dirt cheap. And as long as you clean the gun, even if it was corrosive ammo, you're alright. And it was fairly accurate enough. The AR-15 is a more precise weapon, and I guess basically what it comes to is how far the firing pin protrudes from the bolt. You can go anywhere from 40 to 60 thousandths, depending on the ammo. The only thing is you don't want the firing pin too long because then you're going to pierce the primers. You're going to actually bust a hole in the primer and it'll leak. So you got to look at your weapon, and a lot of people ask me, you know, will this ammo fire in an SKS or something? I've used the ammo from this batch, the Wolf, and in any SKS rifle or my AK-47s, I've never had a misfire. And if we look at them, you can see they all have a pretty good primer strike on there. I mean, that primer strike, if you measure it with the calipers from the base of the shell, kind of getting the tip of the caliper in there, it's 15 thousandths. So that should be more than enough. But on examining all this ammunition, I also bought not so much the Red Army, but kind of for testing, I got some PPU, brass case ammo, and Cellar and below, I think, out of Czechoslovakia, brass case reloadable ammo. The thing about the PPU ammo, if you go like the graphs and that, and look at just the cases to say you just want to reload your cases, for what 100 cases cost, 100, you know, this is like 10 bucks a box plus shipping. You're better off just buying 100 rounds of ammo. I think they want like $60 or $65 for 100 pieces of brass. You know, what the hell, you might as well, if the ammo's good, you know, use the ammo and then reload the brass. Same with this. I was going to get some Fiyoshi, but they were sold out. So first thing I did was I opened up all the boxes and I looked, trying to see how deep the primers were. And basically you just kind of run your finger across the base. But I did get the calipers out and measure. Okay. All of these cases, about anywhere from 4 to 6 thousandths from the base to the primer. And that should be about normal. You don't want the primer flush or sticking out, you know, protruding. You get a slam fire. You want it slightly under this base, which this is. This is about commercial grade ammo. This ammunition, like I said, when I measured it, I was getting a reading of 15 thousandths. So this is a little bit deeper. May have a heavier cup or thicker cup on the primer also. So I'm going to take these out next time I go to the range. I'm going to take these rounds that didn't go off and pop them out of my SKS, and I guarantee it'll go off. And they still got, like I showed you, they still got a pretty hefty strike on there. Okay? So, but you can feel it. When you run your finger across this, even if you don't have calipers, you can feel it. This is, the primer seated well inside the base of the case. So looking at, now we're going to kind of go back, looking at the Red Army Standard. I think this box was like 90 bucks plus shipping for 180 rounds. The brass cases look good. They're like, the ammunition is a military quality. It has a, we'll zoom in here. It has a sealer on the primer, the little red seal, like military. And then if you look at the bullet, when I pulled it, the bullet, you can see it has a sealant around the bullet. That's what that black stuff is sealants used to keep moisture out. So actually this is probably, in terms of storage and long-term use, this is a military grade ammunition with a brass reloader, and I pulled one apart to make sure the box are primed. It is reloadable. It may have a light crimp on there also, military crimp, where I don't believe the PPU and the other ones are, this is basically civilian grade ammo. No military crimp, no sealer. You know, it's basically sporting ammunition. So you got a military grade cartridge with sealant for long-term storage, which is cool, and it's reloadable. Pretty good quality brass. You can see where it's been annealed. So, you know, we're going to try it out. And I got it also to see how accurate the rifle is compared to with the Wolf ammo. And I know kind of the reason you'd want the AR-15 in 7.62 is because the ammo's cheaper. Well, it kind of defeats the purpose when you can't really use the cheap ammo without modifying the firing pin. And also there's a question, if you did, like somebody sent me a comment in one of the comments, told me take another 5 thousandths off the firing pin to get it to stick out farther, then all my problems would go away. So basically that would mean extending my firing pin out 15 thousandths more, which, like I said, now you develop the problem, if I put different ammo in there, is it going to pierce the primers, you know, and then have gas leaking back into the action. So that's where we're at. We got some sample ammo. We're going to go out to the range whenever the weather gets better and give it a run. I'm really impressed with this Red Army Standard. I may get some of the steel case stuff just to see how good it is compared to the Wolf. But the only drawback is it costs more. Okay, you could probably, if you buy 1,000 rounds of Wolf with the shipping, you get away with a 20-round box for about $5 around in there. If you buy it retail, it's about $7. These here were 10 bucks a piece. And like I said, 90 bucks for 180 rounds. But then again, you can reload it. which, you know, will cut down the cost 20–30%. Once you have good brass, you can get 4 or 5 pops out of it. So there you go. So that's where we went, got some interesting ammo, and we're going to go out and try it in our upper and see, and move the firing pin around. I'll put the original in, see if this ammo goes off, and put the long one in, see if it makes a difference. And then we'll do a little accuracy testing also.